Now, if you remember recently, we added Bluetooth to the factory sound system on the Mazda MX5, but to be honest, the stock speakers are a bit so that's why I now have these, the JBL Club 8622F in-car speakers that we're going to put into the Mazda MX5. And just generally, it's going to be a better experience when we're in the car, especially with that new Bluetooth system we added. So all we need to do to make this possible is remove the door cards, install the new speakers, wire them up to the factory wiring harness using these adapters, and then we need to rebuild the doors and everything should be done. Okay, so to be honest, I think to start, I'm actually going to wire up the new speakers into their system because it's going to be a whole lot easier to show you this way. So what we're going to do is we've got two big pins here, and these are two different size pins here. So we're going to get our bigger one, which is our red one, and it's going to go onto our bigger little connector over here, just like so. And there we go. As you can see, all I did was just pop them on. It's the same way as you do any sort of heated wing mirror or wing mirror controls in there. It's just basically a connector that slots over another metal pin. And that's done. You can't mess it up. It's thicker on this end of the pin, and then the actual connector adapter is thicker, and it's thinner on this side for your positive and your negative. Okay, so that's both speakers wired up. So let's go get this door card off. Alright, so the tools you're going to need for this, if we go to our trusty toolbox, is a couple of trim tools of various sizes. Then we're also going to need some of these. Now these are Phillips heads obviously and flatheads, but we're going to need a JIS screwdriver. Now this is a Japan screwdriver which is used, it looks very similar to a flathead, as you can quite clearly see here. Very similar to a flathead, but it's slightly different on the top, which means that if you use a flathead too often, you're probably going to strip the very old bolts. To get yourself a nice JIS one, these are just I think Sealy Premier ones. I got them for like £7 off of Amazon, but they're going to save you a lot of time and the risk of destroying a bolt. And the risk of destroying a screw, not a bolt, Chris. Now, as for what I like to call our attack points on the door card, there's one going to be behind this panel. We're then going to pop this off as well, and then we're going to pull this out from in here, and there's going to be basically some screws in all three of these JIS screws, should I say, just to make sure that I reiterate that, because that's very important. One in there, one behind there, one up there. And then, just like every other door card, there's clips around the outside that you're going to need to pop off without breaking, and obviously being 17 years old, that could be quite difficult. Alright, now this one took a bit of persuasion, but I entered with a hooked sort of trim tool, so I'll show you which one I used. I used a hooked trim tool in behind there, pried it away, and using the leverage from this actual like silver handle here, pulled it away, and it's sort of popped out now. And as you can see, without fail, there's one right behind it. Our bottom JIS screw is actually already exposed, so that's pretty good. Which means we just have this middle handle to remove now. Done. Now that one took a hell of a lot of effort there, and I got a little bit of damage on the bottom, but it's not too bad. It's all perfectly repairable. So essentially all I did in the end was I got an actual screwdriver and a microfiber because it was doing a little bit more leverage than the trim tools were doing. And as you can see, without fail, inside of there, up here, is our JIS screw. Okay, so now that door card's off, we've basically got to just unplug all of these connectors, and then the door card should come fully off. And just like that, the door card is off, and there is our horrible old paper cone speaker. So let's get it out. And the first one is out, and that's probably the first time this has been removed since Japan, but you can see just how much worse it looks than the new ones. Now the reason that these are so bad in comparison to these is because these are called paper cone speakers, and you can see their cones are made out of paper. So these will rot and deteriorate over time, which makes them even worse than what they were factory, and they're very, very quiet, they're very muddy, and they do not handle bass very well at all. And as these rot and deteriorate, they lose their flexibility, which then makes them even worse again. And so basically, these are just not very good for handling bassy songs, especially when you add Bluetooth and the fact that the iPhone and the systems treat it a bit like headphones where it adds more bass. Hence why we now have these, which are going to handle everything a lot better than these old ones. So let's get this one into the car. What I do want to quickly mention is I have changed this connector because the one that was labelled for a Mazda MX5 works on the old Mazda system, whereas this one works from when Mazda was owned by Ford. So this one's actually from a Ford Focus Mark 1. So I'm going to leave a link in the description to this adapter because it's quite a complicated thing to actually find the right one. So yeah, I'll leave a link and then that'll be a nice easy way for you to find it. This was the one I originally bought, which was labelled for a Mazda MX5. And that is actually the one that you need. It's a totally different shape and a totally different pin layout. Before we can fit the first speaker to the car, we also need to install its sticky foam backing. Now what this does is creates a really nice seal around the back of the speaker, so we get no extra vibrations on that really poorly sound deadened door in the MX5. Let's do this. And done. And looking pretty good. Let's get it in the car. Now this job is really simple. We just plug our connector into this connector, and then we're going to line up our little holes on the speaker with the relative holes around the actual surround. Let's do this. I'm not going to record this bit. I'm just going to snap my fingers and use some YouTube magic. And that is in, and it's looking pretty good, I have to say. A pretty decent upgrade from the old one. And also a quick side note, remove the factory tweeter when you add these in, because these JBL speakers have their own tweeters and this is going to be useless, and it wasn't, to be honest, that good anyway. Alright, now I can't show you what I was listening to, obviously, for obvious reasons, but I fired it up and that speaker is working, so we can now build up this door card. We're going to get it back on and then we're going to do the other side, because obviously if I detach that side and for some reason the door handle won't open, then I'm locked out of my car and we're in a big bit of trouble. But if we can fix this one, then we'll be just fine. And ladies and gentlemen, the door card is back in, looking a little bit dirty, but for the most part, exactly how it was before, except as we know, hidden behind here is a JBL speaker that's going to make this sound a whole lot better. So, let's do the other side. I'm basically just going to snap my fingers and then basically just, do a quick time lapse almost of just, the stuff going. So like snap my finger, door card will be off, snap my finger, speaker will be out, new one will be in, door card will be back on, because otherwise this video is going to be like 4 hours long. Now I'm hoping this time, because I have all the stuff and the knowledge, it shouldn't take me as long to do. So let's see if we can have this done before the end of the day, because it's currently Wednesday. I need to edit this video and it needs to be basically uploaded Thursday evening so it's ready for Friday afternoon. So I ain't got much time left because things were going wrong and I had to keep ordering parts like the other speaker adapters, and then I had to order the clips because I had to replace all the clips in that door card because they were snapping and they were just brittle, because they were poor door card clips already and they've just technically got worse and more brittle with age. So they're all replaced, but now I have all the stuff. We should be able to get this one done in a single afternoon and maybe a couple of hours. And with the power of YouTube magic, this door card will be gone in 3, 2, 1. And the door card's off, and we only got the world's smallest minimal bit of damage to it just up there. I mean, it's absolutely nothing. It's just where you put the little screwdriver in to take that trim off there. But other than that, it came out and it still looks pretty spotless. No one's ever going to notice that. If I didn't tell you, no one would ever notice. Okay, so the only thing, this is the little tweeter, by the way. I didn't really show you it in the door before, but that's what we're going to remove. Take it out. You don't need it anymore, and then it's all basically ready for the speaker to go in. So in 3, 2, 1, this speaker will disappear for good. And just like that, the speaker is out. So let's get the new one in. Alright, so the speaker's in and it is working, so let's clear up all of these old clips that have stayed in here, pop them out, replace the clips in the door card with some nice new ones that aren't brittle, get the door card back on, and we should be done. And yeah, if you've watched this video all the way through to this point so far, thank you so much, and just keep watching because I'm going to do an audio test at the end, obviously, as I do, so we can get a little bit of a comparison and just see how good it is. Alright, so as you can see, the door card is back on and looking absolutely perfect. That you can't even notice that little bit of damage down there. And it looks really good, and as you know, we've got 2 good speakers on either side now. So I think that only leaves one thing for it. Let's go and have a nice little test of these new speakers. I've already heard them once and they sound really good. Alright, it's time for a song test. Let's play a little bit of XTC. Now, this is quite a bassy song. You probably heard it in my outros before. Here we go. Turn it right up for the extra bass. You see, they got a whole lot more punch to them now, and it's really, really good, because basically that just means that essentially it's not overwhelming. Like when you have lyrics in a song, which I can't really show you unfortunately, but when you have lyrics in a song, it really, really works, and you can hear the people singing, because before all you could hear was the bass and like the undertones. You couldn't really hear the actual song, and it was really, really annoying. You could only listen to certain songs, but these speakers have really added that extra punch because they've got a higher wattage, they're a lot better, and they're not those stupid paper cone speakers. So this is really, really cool, and I'm really, really happy with it. It's turned out perfect, and it sort of fixed the issue that the Bluetooth added. So when we added Bluetooth, it fixed the connectivity problem and like having the wires and everything, but it added more bass because it thought they were headphones. So now what this has essentially done is narrowed it back down and made us have a really, really nice high quality audio system in the budget sports car, and we also have Bluetooth connectivity while keeping the original factory radio and the factory look. So thank you all so much for watching today's video. I hope you all did enjoy. If you did, remember to leave a like, subscribe, you know the rest. Everyone else told you millions and millions of times, I am sure. And yeah, I'll see you all in the next one. I'm going to finally drive my car because it's been like a week since I've been able to drive it. So let's play the outro. Three, two, one.